In a world of shifting sands and moral relativism, can we find an anchor, a fixed point, a universal compass for right and wrong? What if the answer lies not in consequences, but in the very nature of our will? Welcome, fellow architects of thought, to the Why Machine. Today, we're not just exploring an idea. We're wrestling with one of the most powerful and enduring ethical frameworks ever conceived. We're stepping into the mind of Immanuel Kant to uncover the revolutionary concept that could reshape your entire approach to morality, the categorical imperative. For centuries, philosophers have grappled with the question of how to live a good life. Many pointed to outcomes. Act in a way that brings the most happiness or avoids the most pain. This is called consequentialism. But what if the intention behind your action, not just its result, is what truly matters? What if universal moral laws exist, not because of divine decree, but because of pure, unadulterated reason? Enter Immanuel Kant, an 18th century Prussian philosopher, whose rigorous mind built an ethical system grounded in duty and reason. Kant was dissatisfied with the idea that morality could be conditional. If you want to be happy, then do X. He sought an unconditional moral command, something that applied to everyone, everywhere, all the time. He called this the categorical imperative. Let's break down that famous, somewhat intimidating quote. Act only according to that maxim. A maxim is simply the rule or principle behind your action. It's the subjective reason you're doing what you're doing, whereby you can, at the same time, will that it should become a universal law. This is the crucial part. Before you act, Kant asks you to perform a mental experiment. What if everyone acted on the same principle you're about to? Would it still make sense? Would society still function? Would it even be possible? Kant proposed several formulations of the categorical imperative, but this first one, often called the formula of universal law, is perhaps the most accessible. Imagine you're considering breaking a promise because it's inconvenient. Your maxim might be, I will break promises when it suits my immediate needs. Now, universalize that. What if everyone broke promises whenever it was convenient for them? The very concept of a promise would cease to exist. It would be self-defeating. You couldn't even will it to be a universal law because the structure it relies upon would collapse. Therefore, breaking promises, in Kant's view, is morally impermissible. Or, consider lying. Your maxim. I will lie to get what I want. If everyone lied whenever they wanted something, trust would evaporate. Communication would break down. The very act of speaking truthfully would lose its meaning. Again, the maxim cannot be universalized without contradiction. This isn't about the bad consequences of lying. It's about the inherent irrationality and self-defeat of a world where lying is a universal principle. Kant wasn't interested in personal gain or emotional satisfaction. For him, a truly moral action is done out of duty. Duty to the moral law, which is derived from reason itself. It's about acting in a way that respects the rational capacity of all beings, including yourself. This is why another formulation of the categorical imperative states, act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of any other, never merely as a means to an end, but always at the same time as an end. This second formulation highlights the inherent dignity of every human being. You shouldn't use people as mere tools to achieve your own goals, because every person is an end in themselves, possessing intrinsic value. This has profound implications for how we treat others, from exploitative labor practices to simply manipulating someone for our own benefit. The categorical imperative challenges us to transcend our immediate desires and self-interest. It asks us to consider a bigger picture, a universal standard that applies to all rational beings. It's a demanding philosophy, but one that offers a powerful, unwavering compass in the complex ethical landscape of our lives. It's not about what feels right or what gets you ahead, but what is rationally right for everyone. So, the next time you're faced with a tough decision, pause. Ask yourself, What is the principle behind my intended action? And if everyone in the world adopted that principle, would society flourish? Or would the very fabric of reason unravel? This simple, yet profound, mental exercise, born from the mind of Kant, can guide you toward actions that uphold not just your own integrity, but the integrity of humanity itself. What are your thoughts on Kant's categorical imperative? Does universal moral law resonate with you, or do you find it too rigid? Share your insights and ethical dilemmas in the comments below. We love sparking these conversations. If this exploration into rational ethics illuminated your path, please hit that like button, share this video with fellow truth seekers, and subscribe to The Why Machine for more deep dives into ancient knowledge, lost history, philosophy, investing, and hidden wisdom. Until next time, keep asking why.